Hey guys, welcome to the MrMaple Show. My name is Corbin Wildcatt. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my trip up to the big city and a little bit about my journeys in New Jersey as well. So first I hopped on the train from the airport and I made my way to New Jersey. It was a pretty fun ride. I love the trains. I love watching the city pass by as you're riding down it, and I can really just get nice and relaxed. But one of my favorite things about New Jersey and New York was the fact that there was ornamental trees everywhere. There was ginkgos, there was maples, there was Japanese cherries, and some gigantic elms as well, and it was beautiful. I ended up getting there at a perfect time to see everything in spring color. There was blooms on all the flowers, all the maples were looking fantastic, and it was a great trip, honestly. And you can see this cool juniper that I saw next to a big old firehouse, and it was crazy. I love conifers, and this thing had some character to it. It definitely had been there for a minute, just like a lot of the trees on Rutgers campus. Like, you see this beautiful elm that might have been as old as, Rutgers, and if you know anything about that place, it is older than the United States. But yeah, you can see some of the beautiful blooms. And they even had some awesome dogwoods. The beautiful pink flowers on this. I didn't catch the cultivar name, but I would love to have one of these in my garden. And we were off to the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Go check out some awesome Japanese gardens and some beautiful bonsais that they had there. As you can see, we were also enjoying that beautiful New York City skyline on the New Jersey Turnpike. It was so scenic. I grew up here in the mountains, and I think that the skylines kind of echo that. The Brooklyn Botanic Gardens blew me away. There were so many crazy plants there. All sorts of tropical, deciduous, even some desert plants. But there was so much crazy stuff I had never even seen before. Like, you can see some of these beautiful variegated grasses. And then we got to the desert room, which is filled with cactuses that grow every which way. And they had some massive specimens in there. But then I got to enjoy the beautiful Japanese garden there. It was so serene. There was little turtles and little koi swimming around in this big, gigantic pond they had. And then you look up, and there's a beautiful garden off in the distance. with maples and Japanese pines and weeping cherries and azaleas. And it's all laid out so beautifully. One of my favorite things about this area is that you're in the middle of the city, but you can hear no cars. You really can only hear the airplanes flying over that are heading to Newark. You can see all these gigantic bald cypresses, and they even had some yew trees, which I'm kind of new to, and I was really loved the way that they looked. And you can see some of the lovely buildings they had around there. There was a little quiet area where you could sit and watch the fish, and they had a little sign up there that asked everybody to whisper. And it was really just a little slice of tranquility in the middle of the big city. And I appreciated that. This was one of my favorite places in New York that I have been before. And I was just taken aback by how many trees they had and how many specimen sizes of trees they had. I'm a sucker for Japanese white pines too. You can see this one in the video. And it's looking amazing right now. Some Japanese tree peonies, which I had never seen before, but definitely going to add some to my collection. And this was one of my favorite trees. This beautiful Japanese weeping cherry that just folded over the pond and was such a nice addition to the landscape. Another beautiful Japanese white pine. This one was a dwarf. You can see all that new growth starting to pop off at the top, and I love that yellow color. Now they did have a lot of maples there. A lot of them weren't tagged with cultivar names. You know, they kind of kept it to species, but there were definitely some I could tell what they were. I was asking Matt and Tim while I was out there, you know, I was sending them pictures of certain things, and they were relaying back and forth to me. But there was just a couple trees that were really just kind of breathtaking. big one that I'm talking about is this beautiful Shishigashira. The green lion, one of the most amazing Japanese maples in my opinion. And they had maybe a 15-foot tall specimen in there. And it was just given its own space, and you could really admire the beauty and admire the structure of it while I was sitting in the landscape. And I love that about the garden design is like they had a lot of really good plants that they were pairing up together, but then they let one shine every once in a while and let it be a beautiful centerpiece for the garden. I mean, you can see this place. It looks like a painting in every frame almost. And you can see all the beautiful different types of Japanese plants, but they also have a lot of different gardens as well. There's that beautiful bald cypress that I took a video of earlier, looming over the pond. Some Akanata foliums that I was finding hiding around. This wasn't in the Japanese garden, it was in their rare maple collection where they had a bunch of different species and cultivars. But I always love seeing a gigantic dancing peacock in the landscape. And now we're getting to one of my favorite parts of the whole entire visit. A beautiful collection of bonsai. A lot of these trees speak for themselves, but I will say I had an awesome tour guide, David Castro, who toured me around, showed me the Bonsai Museum, and was a great time. Now, a lot of these trees are 2 to 3 times as old as I am. Even their little markers don't really give an accurate representation of the time or even the work and effort that was put into these trees. You know, there were some labels that said this tree was planted 23 years ago, but that was in 2000 or something like that. So these are some old specimens. A lot have gone through many hands and ended up in the Brooklyn Botanic Garden Bonsai Museum because they were donated. It's really amazing that these trees can go through so many hands, and sometimes they're around a lot longer than the person who started them, which I think is one of the most beautiful aspects of a bonsai. It is a generational piece of art. I'm always enamored by the beauty of the Japanese white pines and black pines. I love the way that the bark looks, and they always have such awesome structure and beautiful nabari as well. I love how the root systems looks. This was one of my first times seeing professional bonsai, and I was just taken away. It's such a beautiful craft. Working in tandem with nature is such a beautiful thing, especially when you're creating an artwork that will last for generations. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you just a little bit about my trip. It was a great time. Shout out to David Castro and my good friend Zach Brackett. They were very helpful. I was out and about. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Mr. Maple Show. And go check out MrMaple.com for all your maple needs. Take care, God bless, and have a great day.